Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in the last class, we were doing sums on Baumol model and we did it using the formula method. In today's class, we will do it using the tabular method. Now, in one of my previous class, I had already shared videos on YouTube wherein I had solved two sums. I don't know how many of you have gone through that video, but
Yes, ma'am. Done with
let's
the
see.
sums.
Did you understand the Baumol model problems?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
What I will be doing is in this class I'll be repeating those two sums and I'll do one more sum because a few of you said that the screen was not visible. The audio was clear in that video, but the screen was not visible. So we'll do it fast. I'll repeat those two. I'll do one more new sum and then we'll go to Miller-Orr model. And I'll give you 3 to 4 sums of Baumol model to practice so you understand as to how that tabular method works. So let's start with the same sums now again. So this was the first problem. XYZ Limited required 15 lakh as a cash requirement for the next 3 months. It has marketable securities in the lot size of 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 4 lakh and 5 lakh. The firm can earn 15% annual interest. Rupees 500 per transaction is the conversion cost. You are required to prepare a table indicating economic lot size using numerical analysis. So first we will write down what all is given. So here they have told T is 15 lakh, that is nothing but the total cash requirement. I, they've given it as 15%, but if you could see the question, we need it only for next 3 months. So we cannot take interest for the whole year. I need to convert it to 3 months period and then consider. So here I have solved it. If you see 15% into 3 by 12, it comes to 3.75%. Then the transaction cost or the conversion cost is 500. So B is 500. Okay, now what they have asked us to do? They've asked us to use the tabular method and do the problem. Now the formulas in the beginning I had mentioned the same you will have to follow. So these are the formulas of transaction cost, opportunity cost and total cost. Now before we start with the tabular method, what is the difference between tabular method and the formula method? In case of formula method, you use formula to find the C value, that is nothing but the optimum cash balance. But in case of tabular method, they will give you a range of C values. So see here, they have given marketable securities in the lot size of 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 4 lakh and 5 lakh. These are the range of C values. Out of this, which is the optimum C value, we have to find using tabular method. So here formula won't help you to find the optimum level, but the tabular solution will help. Now when we do tabular method, we have to still keep in mind these three formulas. That is the transaction cost, opportunity cost and total cost. So let us start. First, I will take all the values, that means the C values that are given, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 4 lakh and 5 lakh. Side by side you can also start solving because I'm doing it hands on here. If you have your books open, you can also leave some space to write down the question later and maybe the answers you can start solving here. So you'll get to know what doubts you're getting and later again sitting and writing, that much time would be saved and you can practice new sums. So 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 4 lakh and 5 lakh are the values that they're given, the C values. All of you there with me till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubts?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubts?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand why we're doing tabular method? Because they have asked us to do using numerical analysis and we cannot use the formula to find the C. They have given us 4 or 5 C values, out of which we have to find which is optimum using the table. Okay. So let's continue with the problem. Now first what we have to do is we have to find the transaction cost. Now to find the transaction cost, I hope all of you remember, we should first know the number of transactions. To get to know the number of transactions, what we do? We do T divided by C. What is T? is T? T is the total requirement of cash and C is the optimum cash balance. So we need to do T divided by C to find the number of transactions and then multiply it with B, which is transaction cost. Okay, so first we will write here total cash required, and into bracket I will write it as T because we denote it as T. So how much is the total cash requirement? Can anybody tell me in the question what is the value of T?
15 lakhs.
Yes, so we'll take that 15 lakhs in each of the column. See, remember this is as good as doing 4 different sums. I'm doing it in one only with 4 different columns. Okay, so 15 lakh in all the columns. This is the cash requirement. Now I want the value of C so that I can do T by C and find the number of transactions. So here I will write the value of C. What is the value of C? The value of C is nothing but, or first I will write it here, lot size. That C is nothing but the lot size that is given in the problem. And what is the lot size given? The lot size given is 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 4 lakh and 5 lakh. So this lot size we will take it as C value. So we copy it, the lot size, and we take it as C value. Now to find the number of transactions, we need to do T by C. So T by C if you do, so 15 lakh is the value of T, and what we get by T by C, we get the number of transactions. So I'll write here number of transactions. Now we have to do T by C. So T value for the first case is 15 lakh. Yes, and C value is 1 lakh. So I have to do 15 lakh divided by 1 lakh. Can anybody tell me how much we will get?
15.
15. Correct. Next, 15 lakh divided by 2 lakh.
7.5.
7.5 transactions. Next, 15 lakh divided by 4 lakh.
3.75.
3.75 transactions. And then 15 lakh divided by 5 lakh.
3.
3. Sorry. So we get 3 trans. So this is how we get the number of transactions. Once we have got the number of transactions, we can write the value of B, which is nothing but the transaction cost. So this is the value of B, and which is given in the question as
500.
500. So we take 500 in all the columns. Now what we will do, we will find the transaction cost, the total transaction cost. This is transaction cost per transaction. Okay, now I will find the total transaction cost. How do we find the total transaction cost? Anybody can tell me the formula?
B into T by C.
Correct. B into T by C. So I have to divide first the T by C and then multiply it with B. So now you have already done here. See, T by C is 15 and B is 500. So if I do 15 into 500, I will get the total transaction cost.
7,500.
7,500. Okay. Then 7.5 into 500, what is the transaction cost?
3,750.
3,750. 3.75 into 500,
8,875.
1,875. 3 into 500,
1500.
So this is the transaction cost. See, the first part we have solved. This transaction cost we have done. Okay. Now let's go to the opportunity cost. For opportunity cost, what we need? We need the average cash balance. And how do we get the average cash balance?
C by
C
2.
by 2.
Yes, C by 2. So we already have C. I'm not rewriting that C again. I have to just do C by 2. If you see, this is the value of C which I've already taken above, lot size C. I have to just do C by 2. So C is 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 4 lakh and 5 lakh. So I have to do C by 2 there. So 1 lakh divided by 2, I'll get
50,000.
2 lakh divided by 2,
1 lakh.
1
1
lakh.
lakh.
4 lakh divided by 2,
2
2
lakh.
lakh.
2 lakh. And 5 lakh divided by 2 is 2 lakh.
2
2
lakh
lakh
50,000.
Now we have the value of I. I is nothing but the interest or the opportunity cost, which I found for 3 months. Can anybody tell me why we did it for 3 months? Why we got it as 3.75 and why we are not taking full 15%?
For next 3 months, ma'am.
Okay.
The
Because the
transaction
cash
was
requirement is only for next 3 months, not for full year. And this 15% was annual interest. So I cannot take the annual interest when the requirement is for 3 months. I should take only 3 months interest. Therefore, we took it as 3.75. Now, instead of taking 3.75 here, I'll convert it into decimals and then take it. So 3.75 divided by 100, if we do, how much we get? 0.0375.
0.037.
So 0.0375 is the value of I that we are going to take in all the columns because the interest rate is same. So whatever is the lot size, interest rate won't change. So now we'll find the total opportunity cost. To find the total opportunity cost, we have to do I into
C by 2.
C by 2.
C by 2. I into C by 2. So I into C by 2, that means this is the value of I, 0.0375, and C by 2 value is 5,000 in the first, 50,000 in the first case. So 50,000 into 0.375, how much you get?
1875.
1875.
1875. Then 1 lakh into 0.375,
3,750.
3756.
750. 2 lakh into 0.375,
7,500.
7500.
and 2,50,000 into 0.375.
9375.
9,375.
So these are the values of opportunity cost. Now what we will do is we will find the total cost. So how to find the total cost? We have to add the transaction cost plus the opportunity cost.
Opportunity cost.
Yes. Now this yellow highlights, first yellow highlight is your transaction cost, the second is your opportunity cost. So if I add these two, I'll get the values of total cost. Okay, so we'll find the total cost. 7,500 plus 1,875. How much you get?
9375.
9,375.
9,375. 3,750 plus 3,750.
7500.
7,500.
Correct. 1,875 plus 7,500. Again, it is
375.
9,375. And last one, 9,375 plus 1,500.
10,875.
10,875.
Now you have all the total cost. Can you tell me where the total cost is minimum?
2 lakh, ma'am.
2 lakh. That is this value. This is the minimum total cost. Okay, 7,500. Okay, and this comes at 2 lakh. So 2 lakh is the optimum cash balance. But if we use formula method, what formula we use? C is equals to square root of 2BI BT divided by I.
dbt divided by I.
Yeah. So if we use formula method, in formula method we get it in one step. But if we are using tabular method, they'll give you various values of lot sizes. That is C. You can withdraw cash 1 lakh or 2 lakh or 4 lakh or 5 lakh, and they will tell you to find which is optimum. So the company should always withdraw cash in the lot of 2 lakh rupees, because that will make the total cost to be minimum, which is only 7,500. And when we get the optimum cash balance, what I have told you, we have a trade-off between transaction cost and opportunity cost. Trade-off means balance. So both should be equal, both should be balanced. See here, your transaction cost is how much? 3,750. And what is your opportunity cost? 3,750. Both are equal? Yes or
Yes,
no?
ma'am.
Yes, both are equal. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Whenever both are equal, the total cost is minimum, and that is the optimum cash balance. If these two are not equal, that means you have done some mistake in solving the problem. Any doubts with this problem?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Should we go to the next one? Should we solve the next one?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. Before I go to the next problem, the attendance is getting recorded on Google Meet automatically. After the class, I will share you the attendance. So all those who are not attending, you will get to know that, and accordingly, it will impact your eyes and your other performance. So it's important to attend classes even if it is online. And if there is any issue, you have to inform in advance. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Let's go to the second problem. Rajesh Limited requires rupees 10 lakh in cash for meeting its transaction needs. What is this 10 lakh rupees? The value of
T.
T. That is total cash requirement. Then they require it for the next 1 year. That means we have to take interest as it is. We need not convert. It has marketable securities in the lot size of. So we'll take those later. The firm can earn 5% annual interest. So what is this 5%? Interest, right?
Right.
Rupees
ma'am.
1,000 per transaction is the conversion cost. So the value of B is
1,000.
1,000. So these are the
1,000.
values. Now what we'll do is we'll take the lot sizes here first in the table. So the lot sizes start from 50,000. Market lot size they've given you there. First one is 50,000. Second one is 1 lakh. Third one is 2 lakh. Fourth one is 2,50,000. And fifth one is 5 lakh. So we have these lot sizes. First, what we do, we'll find the transaction cost. To find the transaction cost, we have to do T by C into B. So first we'll find T by C. So to find T by C, first we'll write the value of T. So that is total cash. The value of T is 10 lakh. And I'll copy this 10 lakh in all the columns. Okay, now next we will take C. What is C? The lot size, which is given in the question, which I have written on the table also. So these options which are given, 50,000, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, these are the C values which they have given. So this is as good as 5 different sums, but we are doing it in one tabular way to find which is the optimum capital structure. Now we have T and C. So now we can find the total number of transactions. How to find the number of transactions? What I have to do?
T by C.
Divided by C, correct. So 10 lakh divided by 50,000. How much you get?
20.
20.
10 lakh divided by 1 lakh?
10.
10 lakh divided by 2 lakh?
5.
5. 10 lakh divided by 2 lakh 50,000? 4.
4.
And 10 lakh divided by 5 lakh is 2.
2.
So these are total number of transactions. Now we need to write the value of B, which is nothing but transaction cost, which is given as 1,000 rupees.
1000.
So we will take that 1,000 rupees in all the columns. Now we will find the value total transaction cost. So we will write it as B into P by C.
C.
So B is how much here? The value of B is 1,000 and T by C is 20. The total transactions. So 20 into 1,000, how much you get?
20,000.
20,000.
20,000.
10 into 1,000,
10,000.
10,000.
5 into 1,000,
5,000.
5,000.
4 into 1,000,
4,000.
4,000,
2,000.
2,000. So this is the transaction cost. Now we will find the opportunity cost. So to find the opportunity cost, first what we need the average cash balance. To find the average cash balance, we have to do C by
C by 2.
2. So we will do C divided by 2. So C I have already taken here about lot size. If you can see this column, so we have the value of C. We have to just do divide by 2 to find the average. So first C value is 50,000. 50,000 divided by 2,
25,000.
25,000. 1 lakh divided by 2,
50,000.
50,000.
50,000. 2 lakh divided by 2,
1 lakh.
1 lakh. 2 lakh 50,000 divided by 2,
1 lakh 25,000.
25,000.
1 lakh 25,000. And 5 lakh divided by 2 is 2 lakh
2 lakh 50,000.
50,000. So we have the C by 2 values. Now we'll take the I value. So now I is 5% and we're taking full 5%. Can anybody tell me why full 5%? Why I'm not converting it to 3 months, 6 months, 9 months?
Because it is for the whole year, ma'am.
Because
Annual interest,
Ma'am,
It
annual
is-
interest.
but the cash requirement is for how long?
For next 1 year.
1 year. So you require cash for full 1 year. So you're taking full annual interest. In the previous sum, you required it for 3 months.
3
So you
months.
took only 3 months interest. So this you have to remember because this is the mistake that most of them make in exam and lose marks. So this is one of the silly mistakes. They forget to convert the rate, and sometimes when it is not required, they convert it. Here it is not required because for 1 year cash requirement, so we need 1 year rate which is given. So we'll take it as it is. But in the previous sum, it was required 3 months rate we had to convert because it was 3 months cash requirement. So we'll
Yes,
take
ma'am.
this 5%. If I take in decimals, it is 0.05. 5 divided by 100 if you do. So we take it in all the columns. So now if we have to find C divided by 2 into I, we will get the total opportunity cost. Total opportunity cost is, here this I, you can write it as opportunity cost. Total opportunity cost C by I into C by 2. Okay, now 25,000 is C by 2 into the I value 0.05. Can anyone tell me how much you get?
1250.
1250. 1,250.
50,000 into 0.05.
2,500.
2,500.
2,500. 1 lakh into 0.05.
5,000.
5,000.
1 lakh 25,000 into 0.05.
6,250.
2,250.
2 lakh 50,000 into 0.05.
12,500.
12,500.
So now we can write the total cost. How to find the total cost? Anyone?
Transaction
PC is
cost
equals
plus
to OC.
opportunity cost.
Transaction cost plus
Opportunity cost.
opportunity cost. Okay, now before I do this, can at this stage anybody tell me which is the optimum cash balance? It is 50,000, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 2 lakh 50 or 5 lakh. Out of those options,
lakh.
which is the
2
optimum?
lakh.
2 lakh.
2 lakh.
5,000, 5,000, ma'am.
Both are matching. If you
Same.
see, the transaction cost and opportunity cost are same, 5,000, 5,000 and 2 lakh. Now we will also find the total and see whether we are getting minimum cash balance there or no. So 20,000 plus 1,250, 21,250. 10,000 plus 2,500, 12,500.
12,500.
5,000 plus 5,000 is 10,000.
10,000.
4,000 plus 6,250, 10,250.
50.
And 14,500. So if you see at 10,000, the cash balance is minimum. And at 10,000, your optimum cash level is 2 lakh. And here your opportunity cost and the transaction cost are same. They are matching at 10,000. Therefore, we take it like this. Any doubts in this problem?
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Are you feeling that I'm going fast? I'm trying to go as slow as possible.
No,
Is this speed is fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's do one more sum now. First, we'll write down what all is given. ABC Limited requires rupees 30 lakh. What is this 30 lakh? T, right?
Total cash.
Yes, T, total cash. Then it requires it for the next 3 months. So we have to keep this in mind now. So they've given you interest. How much is the interest given? 20%. But can we take it full 20%? No. What
No,
we have
ma'am.
to do? We have to
20 into 3 by 12.
we have to reduce it for 3 months. So 20 into 3 by 12 if I do, I'll get the I value for 3 months. So how much you're getting? 5%?
5, ma'am.
Yes, so you get it as 5%. So the value of I for 3 months is 5%, which we will use in the problem. Then they have given you annual rupees 3,000 per transaction is the conversion cost. So that is B value. B is 3,000 rupees. So these are the given values. Now we will fill in these tables. Okay. So the lot sizes are given. The first lot size is 1,50,000. The next lot size is 3 lakh. Then 6 lakh. Then you have 7 lakh 50,000. And the last one is 15 lakh. So these are the lot sizes given. We have to find the optimum lot size or the optimum cash balance, which is the optimum C. So first we take into account the total cash, that is T, which is given as 30 lakh. So I take 30 lakh in all the columns. Next I have to take the lot size, which is C. So we can take it as 1,50,000, 3 lakh, 6 lakh, 7,50,000 and 15 lakh. Now I have the value of T and C. So I have to find the total number of transactions, for which I'll have to do T by C. So if I do 30 lakh divided by 1,50,000, I get how many? 20,
20,000.
20.
20, right?
20, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Next 30 lakh divided by 3 lakh, you get 10 transactions.
10,000.
10.
30 lakh divided by 6 lakh,
5,000.
5.
5, no, it's not 1,000. Somebody just check 30 lakh divided by 6 lakh. If I do, I get 5. All the zeros gets cancelled.
Yes.
And then you have 30 divided by 6, which comes to 5. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
30 lakh divided by 7,50,000, you get it as 4.
4.
4.
And 30 lakh divided by 15 lakh, you'll get it as 2.
2.
So these are the number of transactions. Next, we have to write the value of B, which is 3,000 rupees. In all the columns, 3,000. Then we have to find the total transaction cost, which is 3,000 into 20 in the first case, that comes to 60,000. 3,000 into 10 is 30,000. 3,000 into 5 is 15,000. 3,000 into 4 is 12,000. And 3,000 into 2 is 6,000. Is this correct? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
we'll do the next now. To find the opportunity cost, what do we need? We need the average cash balance and we need the value of I. So to find the average cash balance, we have to do C by 2. So if I'm doing C by 2, the value of C taken above is 1,50,000. 1,50,000 divided by 2 is 75,000. 3 lakh divided by 2 is 1,50,000. 6 lakh divided by 2 is 3 lakhs.
3 lakh.
7,50,000 divided by 2 is 3,75,000, right?
75,000.
15 lakh divided by 2 is 7,50,000. So these are the values of average cash balance. Now opportunity cost, we are taking it as 5%, not 20%. I'm repeating it again because the requirement is for only 3 months. So we converted the 20% rate into 3 by 12. We got it as 5%. Here we take the decimal. So 5 divided by 100, 0.05 is the rate that we're going to take. In all the columns. Then we get the total opportunity cost, I into C by 2. So the value of I is 0.05 and C by 2 is 75,000 in the first case. So 75,000 into 0.05, you get 3,000.
750.
750. Then 1,50,000 into 0.05, 7,000.
500.
7,500.
3 lakh into 0.05,
15,000.
15,000. 3,75,000 into 0.05,
18,750.
18,750. And last one, 750,000 into 0.05,
37,500.
37,500.
37,500. At this stage, can you tell me which is the optimum cash balance?
6 lakh.
6 lakh.
6 lakh, because the opportunity cost and the transaction cost both are matching, 15 plus 15.
15,000.
Okay, so we'll total it now. 63,750, 37,500, 30,000, 30,750. The last one is 43,500.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
out of this, yeah, the minimum balance is 30,000. I mean, the total cost minimum is at 30,000. So that means 6 lakh rupees is your optimum cash balance. Are these sums clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
You
Yes,
want
ma'am.
me to do some more in the class now, or I'll give you 2, 3 for practice? It is okay.
Ma'am, solve one more.
One more? Okay. Anyone else?
Ma'am, give us for practice as well.
Now I have done 3 here. I'll give you 3 to 4 for practice also. Fine. Now one more sum I'll have to actually find Pranali. So it will take time. So what I would do is I'll teach you one sum in which the I value is missing. Interest is not given. That sum I had planned to teach you. I'll teach you that which is solved using formula method. And then maybe from the question paper problems, I will give you few to solve. And next class we can do one more if you still want me to. Is that okay?
Okay, ma'am.
So we'll do one sum now in which we don't have the value of I. I have not typed it, but I will just do it now. I mean, what all is given, I will write it and we can start solving. Okay. Using Baumol model of cash management, a student has arrived at the economic lot size of rupees 2 lakh. Using Baumol model of cash management, a student has arrived at the economic lot size of rupees 2 lakh. If the estimated cash need is 20 lakh, is rupees 20 lakhs per year, cost of conversion is rupees 2000. Cost of conversion is rupees 2000 per transaction. What is the rate of interest? What is the rate of interest associated? What is the rate of interest associated with this problem? Okay, bear with me. Some caps lock and some are small digits. I was typing fast, so the caps lock button got on. Okay, so this is the question. Okay, so let's start writing. First, what all is given. Using Baumol model of cash management, a student has arrived at an economic lot size of rupees 2 lakh. Now, what is this economic lot size? Can anybody tell me?
C.
C, correct.
C.
Here, C, yeah. Here they used to give you, right? These are the economic lot sizes, out of which he has arrived as the value of C is 2 lakh. That means 2 lakh is the optimum lot size. So that is what he has found. Okay, if the estimated cash need is rupees 20 lakh per year. So what is this 20 lakh?
T.
T. Total cash requirement is rupees 20 lakh per year. Okay. Then the conversion cost they are given. So that is B. Correct? 2000 rupees is the conversion cost. And what they are asking you to find? They are asking you to find the value of I. So I is a question mark. Now we cannot solve this problem using tabular method because we already know C and then I is missing. It will go difficult. So we will use the formula method. And here nowhere they have told you to use the numerical analysis method or the tabular method. Whenever they tell to use tabular method, they will tell you prepare a table indicating using numerical analysis. So you have to make a table. Otherwise, you can solve it using formula. So what is the formula to find C? That is optimum cash balance. C is equals to
Square root 2 BT divided by I.
2 BT divided by I. So just take it from here. Square root of 2 BT divided by I. So now we will put the values in the formula. So C is equals to square root of 2 into, what is the value of B?
2000.
Into T, 20 lakh.
Lakh.
2 lakh, ma'am.
T is 20 lakh, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes, ma'am,
Divided
20.
by I. Now here instead of writing C, we can write 2 lakh because they have given the value of C, correct? Are you all getting it?
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
C value is given, so I have taken it as 2 lakh is equal to square root of 2 into 2000 into 20 lakh divided by I. Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Now what we will do is, we will remove this square root sign. So we will take it on the other side of the equal to. So if I take square root on the other side of the equal to sign, what will happen? It will become
Raised
square.
to
Square. Okay, square root will become square. So what will happen is, it will become 2 lakh square. So it will be raised to 2. 2 lakh raised to 2. So I'll just write it that way. Just a second. It is 2 lakh square. So I've taken it on top. I hope it's visible. Just try to increase the font. So it is 2 lakh square. All right, all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Which is equal to 2 into 2000 into 20 lakh divided by I. Till here, any doubts? I just took the square root that side. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So now what we will do is, we will find square of 2 lakh. So how to find the square of 2 lakh? 2 lakh into 2 lakh. You have to multiply it 2 times. How much you get?
Four lakh.
447.21.
You get 10 zeros, right?
Yes.
So that is
Yes, ma'am.
somewhere around more than 400 crores also. Okay. So you get 10 zeros, 2 lakh into 2 lakh, 2 twos are 4, and all those 10 zeros, which is equal to, now you multiply this, 2 into 2000 into 20 lakh.
8 10 zeros.
8 with 10 zeros you're getting?
Ma'am, 9
Yes,
zeros.
ma'am.
9 zeros open.
9 zeros, right?
9 zeros.
Yes. So you will get 8,
9 zeros.
9 zeros divided by I.
I.
Any doubts still here?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Now this divided by I, we can take it on the other side and get that 40 lakh here. It is like cross multiplying. Take I on the other side of the equal to and get 40 lakh down. Okay, so see how it will look. It will look as I is equal to your 8 with 9 zeros divided by that 40 lakh will come, 400 crores or whatever will come down now. Are you getting it? I took I on that side and got that 400 this side. Getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
now if we cancel
Yes,
the
ma'am.
zeros, then I will be equal to 8
1 by 5.
divided by 8 divided
0.2.
by 40. Actually, all those
That is 1
zeros.
by 5 or 0.2.
0.2.
0.2, ma'am.
0.2. All of you getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
If I
ma'am.
do into 100, I'll get it in percentage. So 0.2 into 100, if I do, it will be equal to 20%. Any doubts in this sum?
0.2,
ma'am.
ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No,
So
ma'am.
if any one value is missing, how to find is, this is the way to find it. So instead of I, suppose B was missing, then what we would have done? Same way, square root taken that side, and then we would have multiplied whatever
No,
we
ma'am.
have, 2 into 20 lakh into B and I value, then we take it on the other end. So it's like simply one value will be missing, and using mathematical formulas, we'll have to solve it. Okay, so usually they'll give it as I missing, they'll not give B missing anytime. But for that, they should give you the value of C also. So like in this problem, they've already given you the answer. The value of C is given and I is what was missing. If both are missing, you can't find it. If C is also not given and I is also not given in any equation, two missing terms cannot be found. Only one missing is possible. Any doubts with Baumol model till here? Anybody?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay, so should we go to the next model, that is the Miller-Orr model?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm not giving you break because as it is, we have started the class late. Okay, so I'll finish it, and because 15 minutes already with the technical glitches and all, we have lost 15 to 20 minutes.
No, ma'am.
Okay, so let's start. First, I'll discuss some theory of Miller-Orr model because directly, if I give you the formula, you will not understand. So, in the last class, we've done till Baumol model, how to find the value. Till this graph I had done. I hope all of you remember. So, today, we'll start with the Miller-Orr model. Now, what is Miller-Orr model and how it is different from Baumol model? The limitation of Baumol model is that it does not allow the cash flows to fluctuate. Firm in practice do not use their cash balance uniformly, nor they are able to predict daily cash inflows and outflows. First thing is why Miller-Orr model was required. Because Baumol model had certain shortfalls or shortcomings or certain assumptions which will not hold true in the real life. The very first assumption was the firm will use same cash balance uniformly. So if you saw the graph I showed you, we start with 2 lakh, we come to 0, again 2 lakh, and the same zigzag format follows. But in real, that might not happen. I may start with 2 lakh, after 2 months, I may need 3 lakh, then I may need only 50,000. So the cash requirements keep fluctuating, which the Baumol model doesn't take into account. That's the reason the Miller-Orr model has come into picture. Now, what does the Miller-Orr model do? The Miller-Orr model overcomes this shortcoming and allows for daily cash flow variation. So, Miller-Orr model doesn't restrict yourself to use 2 lakh or 5 lakh, but it will help you to fluctuate your cash on daily basis. Miller-Orr assumes that the changes in cash balance over a given period are random in size. So, from 0 to 1, any cash may be required. It is random. You cannot predict with 100% surety that from today till tomorrow I will need only 100 rupees. You may need 500 also, you may need 50 also, or you may need 0 also. So it allows you to fluctuate your cash balance randomly. You need not fix it. The Miller-Orr model provides two control limits, the upper control limit and the lower control limit, as well as the return point. So Miller-Orr model says that you should, instead of telling how much cash I will use with 100% surety, you can give control limits. You can have upper and lower limit and the return point. So the return point will be the average. Now suppose the upper limit is 5 lakh and the lower limit is 1 lakh. That basically means if my cash reaches 5 lakh, that means I've touched my upper limit, and beyond this I may not need more cash for my daily usage. So the remaining I can invest somewhere. If my cash touches 1 lakh, that means I've touched the lower limit. I need more cash. I have to sell my securities and get cash in the business. In the next graph, I will show you this happening. So all of you keenly observe this graph. I hope it is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
See there, I have drawn it as upper limit, UL, lower limit, LL, and the center is the Z value, or we also call it as the return point. Now, what is happening here? Suppose I start with certain cash and it keeps fluctuating. So, suppose let's start with 0, or we have started with 5,000. Then next day I need only 1,000. Then very next day I need 50,000. So, it keeps fluctuating. Now, as I told you, suppose my upper limit is 5 lakh and my lower limit is 1 lakh. So in between this, when the cash trades, I have no issues. But if it touches the upper limit, that means I should invest cash, because this much money I will not need. I have reached the upper limit. How do you get cash? First off, can anybody tell me how cash comes into business? Any one of you? by itself. You need not do anything. All went on mute or all left the class. Okay. Are you there? At least confirm that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Cash comes into
Yes,
business
ma'am.
by selling goods. You make sales, you get cash. You render services, you get cash. You go to a doctor's clinic, he will give you services and you pay cash, right? And then cash also comes into business when your debtors pay. Sometimes you sell on credit and you tell your debtors to pay later, and whenever they pay, cash comes into business. So cash keeps coming, and when you spend, it keeps going. Agree to this? Now,
Yes, ma'am.
let us say my
Yes, ma'am.
upper limit is 5 lakh, like my example which I took first. And lower limit is 1 lakh. And my return point or the Z value is 3 lakh. Okay, now what I am trying to say here is, on an average, I need 3 lakh rupees in my business. So today I start with my business with 1 lakh rupee. Tomorrow I receive another 50,000. So how much cash I have now? 1 lakh 50, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Day after I receive another 2 lakh, so I have 3 lakh 50. Then after that I receive another 2 lakh, I have 4 lakh 50. And then I received another 1 lakh, I have 5 lakh 50. Now when I have 5 lakh 50, what I have done, I have touched the upper limit. So when I touch the upper limit, I need to invest in securities because I have more cash than required. My actual requirement is only 3 lakh on an average, but now I have 5 lakh 50. So how much I can invest?
2 lakh 50.
Correct. So that's what just look at this graph. When you touch the upper limit now, how much you can invest, of how much you can buy securities of this full amount till it touches that black line. If you could see that line, return point. Once you invest, see the white line has come down back to the black line. So zigzag, it is straight come down because that much money you invested. I hope you are understanding what I'm trying to say.
Yes,
Then,
ma'am.
now suppose what happened is I invested from 5 lakh 50, I invested 2 lakh 50 and I again came back to 3 lakh. Now tomorrow I make a payment of 2 lakh. Then what will happen? What will be my cash balance? 3 lakh minus 2 lakh? 1 lakh. When it will be 1 lakh, I'll touch my lower limit. When I touch my lower limit, I need to sell securities and come back to this Z again. So I will not come back to Z every day. Only when I touch upper limit, I will invest money, buy securities and come back to Z. Only when I touch lower limit, I will sell securities, get money and come back to Z. Till I don't touch those limits, whatever cash I have, with that I am running my business. This is what is Miller-Orr model. Any doubts with this, anybody?
No, ma'am.
No,
Is that
ma'am.
clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
so let's see further. If the firm's cash flow fluctuates randomly and hit the upper limit, then it buys sufficient marketable securities to come back to the normal level of cash, which we also call it as return point. Similarly, when the firm's cash flow wander and hit the lower limit, it sells marketable securities and come back to the normal level, which is the return point. So only when you touch upper and lower limit, you buy securities or you sell securities. Until and unless it has touched that line, you don't do anything. You run the business with available cash. Now, the very important thing is to find that Z, the return point, how much it should be. Like in Baumol model, C value, how we found, how much should be the optimum cash balance. So here we have to find how much should be that Z. So if you could see formula of Miller-Orr model. Okay, the value of lower limit is set by the management based on what it considers to be the minimum below which the cash balance should not fall. So lower limit is how much minimum I should have. That is set by the management. That cannot be calculated. So in my example, I told you minimum can be 1 lakh. For some other company, minimum can be 50,000. For somebody else, it can be 10,000. And a few people may not keep minimum only. That means when the cash will touch zero, then I will sell securities and get other money. So the minimum balance, we have no control. The lower limit is to be decided by the management. So while solving sums, the lower limit will be always given to you because you cannot calculate or find it. What we can find is the values of return point and upper limit. How to find it has been derived by Miller-Orr with the view to minimize the total ordering and holding cost. So he has also kept into mind the balance between the transaction cost and the opportunity cost. He is calling it as ordering and holding cost, but it is nothing but the transaction cost and opportunity cost. Keeping that in mind, he has derived this formula. Now, if you look at the formula, we are not taking the square root. What we are taking? Anybody? We're taking the cube root. If you could see there, besides that square root sign, there is 3. Are you able to see?
Yes, ma'am.
So we are taking cube root here, not square root. So in his formula, return point formula is cube root of 3b into standard deviation square. SD is the standard deviation divided by 4i. I is the interest plus lower limit. So first you have to solve that cube root, and then whatever you get, you have to add the lower limit to that. You will get the return point. And how to find the upper limit? To find the upper limit, the formula is 3 times return point. So you have to do 3 into RP, whatever return point value you have got while solving the above. You should do 3 times into that minus 2 times into lower limit. So this is how you will have to solve the Miller-Orr model problems. Okay, so the next theory I'll discuss in the next class. Now we'll go to the Miller-Orr model problems. Now the basic funda, to solve Miller-Orr model, you need a scientific calculator because in the normal calculator, you cannot find the cube root. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So all those who don't have a scientific calculator and are not planning to buy, in exam, if the Miller-Orr model comes, you cannot solve it, and it is difficult to borrow and all that in the examination hall. So it's better to have one, because when you go to 4th semester also, you're going to take finance subjects, and there also it will be required. Or else if anybody has it, you can borrow it from them in advance before the exam. But for practice, at least you will need it. So we'll do Miller-Orr model sums today. At least 1 or 2 I'll try to solve. Okay, so let's go to our word file. These are the formulas. Didn't get copied well. Okay, so first I will tell you what all it means. So you note down that. I told you orally, but now we will note it down. Okay, SD is equal to standard deviation. I is equal to interest. B is the transaction cost. Same I and B which was there in Baumol, we are using the same. L is the lower limit. Then RP is the return point. Now RP is also called as Z. So it can be RP or capital Z. So return point is denoted as Z. So in exam, you can use it either RP or the Z. Okay, now Following data is available for a firm. So they have given you the first sum, they have given you everything. So LL is equal to 1000, which is nothing but your lower limit. Interest rate per day, which we call it as I, is equals to 0.025%. Remember, this is not converted into decimals. This is 0.025%. You have to again divide it by 100 and then take it in the formula, because it is daily rate. In one day, you cannot earn 25% interest, right? If I only, or 2.5% interest. If I take only 0.025, that means it is 2.5%. This is 0.025%. I have to do divide by 100 again when I take it in the formula for solution. So this is the value of I. Then your transaction cost, we denote it as V. The value is 20. They've given you the standard deviation, which we call it as SD, which is given as standard deviation of daily cash flow 500. These are the values given. They are asking you to find the return point and the upper limit. Find RP and upper limit. So now we'll use it in the formula. The formula for RP is cube root of, so the cube root sign you need to put the cube root sign there and then solve it the way we have to insert the data in the formula and solve it. So it is cube root of 3b into standard deviation square divided by, so here there is a line for divided by, so I'll first solve it for RP. Let's write RP is equal to cube root of, so I'll write it here, three into B. What is the value of B given in the problem? 500 into standard deviation square. So you need to take, sorry, the value of B is 20. Yeah.
B is 20.
B is 20 and standard deviation is 500. So you have to take 500 square. So 500 square we have to find. Okay, this should be divided by, so okay, you need to divide it by, so I'll write it here itself, divided by 4i, so 4 into I we have to find now.
0.02.
I told you you have to do 0.025 divided by 100. So how much you get? 0.00
0.00025.
30 you get. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So 4 into 0.00025. You need to solve all this, and then later, after the cube root is over, we need to add the lower limit. How much is the lower limit given? 1000. Okay, so now let's find RP is equals to, first you solve 500 square. You get it as 2,50,000.
50,000.
Then you multiply it with 20 into 20 into 3. 500 square is 2,50,000 into 20 into 3. How much you get? 1 crore 50
15
lakhs.
and 6 zeros.
15 and 6 zeros. So 1 crore 50 lakhs. Divided by 4 into I. So you do 4 into 0.00025.
0.01.
0.001.
0.001. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
0.001. All of you getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Now you divide it. So 1 crore 50 lakhs divided by 0.001. If I do, I get 1590. So what you're getting something is 0.000 something like that.
Ma'am, 15 and 9 zeros.
15 and 9 zeros.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
15, 1, 2, 6. Okay, now you have to find the cube root of this. Anybody having scientific calci can try. Cube root of it. So are you able to get the cube root sign on the scientific calci?
Yes, ma'am. It's 2466.21.
2466.21. That is
21.
2466.21. What we have to do now, plus the lower limit. So that was 1,000 rupees. If I add it, the return point would be 3,466.2.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anybody who could not get the cube root sign on your scientific calci, you have to first press shift and then you have to press x raised to 3 sign. There is something called as x raised to 3 in your calci. All those who have not got it, for them I am telling you this. Can you see this sign x raised to 3 in your calci? So first you have to press shift and then press that x raised to 3. You will get the cube root sign on the screen. And then you can press your value, that is 15 with 9 zeros. You will get the answer. Two four six 6.2. All of you are getting it. All those who have scientific calci.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody who is not able to use it or not getting the cube root sign, you can ask questions. And also check the chat box if somebody has raised. Okay, so this is how you basically find the cube root sign, cube root of the value and get the return point. Now they have also asked you to find the upper limit. So what is the formula for upper limit? 3 RP minus 2 LL. So that is nothing but 3 times. So right here, upper limit is equal to 3 into, what is the return point value that we have got? 3466.2. So you have to multiply 3 into 3466.2 minus 2 into the lower limit. How much was the lower limit? 1000 rupees. Minus. So find out. See what is the upper limit you're getting.
8398.63, ma'am. Upper limit.
8398.63.
63.
So this is what is the upper limit for your problem. So if you put it in the graph now here, which I showed you in the PPT, upper limit will be 8300 odd. So this 8398, so 8398. Lower limit they've given you 1000 and return point you have found it as 3466.2. So these are the values that can be put in the table and the calculations can be further taken. Any doubts with the first problem on Miller-Orr model?
No, ma'am.
I hope it was clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So what we'll do is in the next class, we will do few more sums on Miller-Orr model. There are 3-4 sums and by next class, I assume all of you will get the scientific calculators. And then I'm going to start with the cash budget problems. Baumol model sums I'll give you for practice. And if any sum you're not able to solve or you're not getting the answer, you let me know in the next class when we are online. And I'll solve it for you there and then we'll go to Miller-Orr again. So next class we'll continue with Miller-Orr. For your first IA, the portion is Unit 1 full. 1 second.